Hello friends and potential friends. This is Jack, Central Florida edition of Geeky Gardens. And it is a beautiful day here in Central Florida. About 75 degrees, a little bit windy. And we're supposed to have a front coming through tonight. Might get a little bit of rain out of it. And that's supposed to cool us off a little bit over the next couple of days. But this is pretty much perfect weather for trying to do some fermenting down here in Central Florida. Most of the year it's too hot. And so I've decided, after my attempt at kimchi, which is still in process, so we don't really know how that turned out yet. I guess we'll find that out together. But I decided to come out here and try my hand at making regular sauerkraut. Only I'm going to add a bit of a southern flair to it. I don't have any head cabbage other than the Napa, so I'm going to take some of these collards I got here, which I can't seem to eat fast enough, and I'm going to mix it with some of the mustard that I grew this winter. We'll put those into jars and ferment them and see how that turns out. Hopefully this won't be another 20-minute video. So let's get into it. Well, that made a little dent in it. Still plenty more where that came from. But I'm going to take these in the house and clean them up and start getting them ready. Okay, we're in the kitchen. Got the mustard stacked up over here. Got the collards stacked up over here. Got my implements of destruction. Basically canning salt and a couple of mason jars, and I've got my mason tops fermentation kit. Now, I bought this a couple years ago. No, this is not a paid endorsement or anything like that. I just bought it because I wanted it. Comes with the pickle packer, 4 of these mason top lids, which, as you can see, 2 of them are in use, and 4 of these weights, which they call a pickle packer, or pickle puck, or I don't know, they call it something like that. But I'm just gonna go through and clean up all these leaves real good. I'll be cutting the center stems out of them. Then I'm gonna shred them up into small pieces, put them in my popcorn bowl. And as I'm putting them in the popcorn bowl, I'll be sprinkling in a little bit of the pickling salt. The recipe calls for 1 tablespoon for 2 pounds of leaves, and that should fill up 1 jar. Now, I went a little bit crazy, picked a bunch of leaves, so I got 2 jars I'm ready to fill up here. Let me get into that, and then we'll come back. Okay, this is approximately 2 pounds of my leaf mix. I went heavy on the collards, lighter on the mustard, because that Red Giant mustard is pretty spicy. And now the options are spend about 15 or 20 minutes pounding on this. Incidentally, as I was putting it in here, I added a little bit of salt here and there. So I used up that full tablespoon of salt. And now I'm just pounding on it, trying to bruise the leaves, break the cell membranes, release some of the juices. The alternative is to put a plate on here with some kind of weight on top and just let it sit for a couple hours, 2-3 hours, to release some of the juices. Well, I'm feeling a little froggy right now, so I'm going to go ahead and pound on this thing. But it's not that exciting, so I'll bring you back with something more exciting comes along. Well, that sure takes some effort. I think next time I'll use a plate and a weight. But I've been beating on this for about 15 minutes or more. Incidentally, before you start pounding on it, if you want to add any extra spices to it or herbs, that's the time to do it. I went out and grabbed a few fresh rosemary leaves to put in here to kind of offset some of that mustard. And now it's a matter of just shoving it all in the jar and seeing if I can really fit this much into one jar. It's amazing how much this stuff compacts down. You see them juices coming up? And if you find that you don't have enough juices to completely cover the veggies, you can mix up a brine with about half a cup of water and about a half teaspoon of salt and just kind of top it off. But if you pound on it long enough, you shouldn't have to do that. And I've been pounding on this for a while. And I have serious doubts whether I'm going to fit all of this into that jar. Because I do have to leave some head space up here. Yep, that's going to be about it. Now, take a piece of the leaf that I'd saved earlier. Put that in here to hold everything down below the liquid level. Grab one of my hockey pucks and plop it down in there. Grab one of my mason tops, put that over top of it. Oh, when you use these mason tops for the first time, you want to make sure that that hole in the center there is opened up so it can release the juices. Put that on there, label it, and put it in a cool, dark space for about, well, I'll check on it in about 3 weeks, see how it tastes, and then I can decide whether it's ready to go or whether it needs to go longer. But looks pretty good to me. We'll see how that works out. Incidentally, you don't have to buy one of these mason top kits if you don't want to. You could accomplish the same thing with a mason jar, its ring, and a coffee filter. Or the mason jar, coffee filter, and a rubber band. The point is to allow the gases to escape without letting anything get in there. So whatever you can find to do that, more power to you. And I'm going to put that away and wait about a month. Well, it's been about 3 weeks since I started this process. This stuff's been bubbling away till just a couple of days ago, and then the pressure started easing up, so I think the fermentation process is pretty much finished off. So let's see what we got. Hopefully this will be edible. Take off the ring and the top, pull out the pickle puck Throw it over there. Take out the leaf that I put on top. And let's see what this tastes like. Still pretty crispy. Boy, packed it in there pretty good, I must say. Definitely still taste the mustard, but I do believe that's going to be edible. So now we just put that in the refrigerator and keep eating on it. Now it is possible to can this stuff for long-term storage. I forget whether the ball book said 20 minutes or 40 minutes in a water bath canner. And I suspect that the heat of the canning process will probably kill off some of the beneficial bugs that are in there that help your gut health, but it will make for long-term storage. As it is, could last in the refrigerator probably a month or more, but I doubt if it's going to last that long around here. So I'm going to get this packed away and put in the refrigerator, and I'll see you next time.